안녕하세요. My name is Jason Weiser, and I'm a partner manager for family apps and games at Google Play. Before I joined Google, I led growth and marketing teams at Apple, Toca and Nickelodeon. But most importantly, I have 2 young daughters at home, so I'm extremely passionate about the kids and family app space. I'm here today to talk to you about building a family-friendly business on Google Play. To begin, I'd like to show you a short video that illustrates how our top partners are finding success using Google Play's tools and services. Let's take a look.
The launch of the family section on Google Play was hugely positive for Story Toys. I think what it did was solve the discovery issue for parents.
It's really provided a safe, trusted, creative space for families to find new content.
My partner Guy Oranim and I started Baby First with the idea and the passion to create good educational content for babies, toddlers, and their parents. When we learned about the family category on the Google Play Store, it was a 100% match to the Baby First values. We have seen that parents can easily find the content they are looking for. We now have 40% more downloads on Google Play than we do on other platforms. We like that.
Since the launch of the family section on Google Play, our experience with Android has been completely transformed. We saw a huge uplift in revenues, and our downloads to Google Play was now our #1 channel. It's been nothing but positive, and we're delighted to be involved.
So let's talk about the 2 types of apps and games that belong in the family section of Google Play. Family-friendly apps fall into one of the 2 following buckets. There are apps that are primarily child-directed, like RoboCarpoly by Bluepen, and apps that are meant to be enjoyed by both kids and adults, like NBA Jam by EA. At Google Play, we're committed to providing a family-friendly experience, and our robust family section of the Google Play Store offers users the best family-friendly content. And for developers, it provides additional visibility and reach through a targeted audience of parents. Speaking of parents, we've been refining our understanding of the parent segment, finding ways both big and small to personalize their experience on the Google Play Store. One example of this is the family category quick link. We moved this front and center for parents on the homepage of Google Play. This small change resulted in a substantial uplift in traffic to family apps and games. We've also added on to our most popular feature for families, browsing by character. Our character pages show off a curated collection of apps, games, books, TV shows, movies, and even music that's associated with a character. Another 34 character pages have launched globally on Google Play, 2 of which many of you in the room would be familiar with, Pororo and Tayo. Now, we know kids love character content, and we know that many of you license character IP. So we're doing everything we can to improve discoverability of these character pages by placing them all throughout the family section of the store. We've seen such strong results from these character pages that we've created them for brands like Lego, Disney, Nickelodeon, PBS Kids, and Cartoon Network. We've even created specifically focused ones for countries like Pororo, Tayo, Kokomong, and RoboCarpoly. At Google Play, we know search and discovery is critical to the user journey, and we know that many parents search for apps and games for their kids. So we're focused on surfacing the best family-friendly content in search through the family section of Google Play. Take a music search, for example. If you search music from the family section, we will only return results for apps that are related to kids' content and music. In fact, we'll only return results for apps and games that are approved for the Design for Families program, a program which I will cover shortly. Now, if you search for kids' content outside the family section, say on the main section of the store, and you search for terms like educational apps for kids, best toddler apps, or free kids games, then we will recognize that that's a kids' content search, and we will boost family apps and games higher in the search results. We do this as a service to our developers to improve discoverability, and for parents to ensure they're finding the best content regardless of where they are on Google Play. We've also added a new set of features to the store listing page that empower parents to make better downloading decisions. These are features such as objective third-party content ratings, stronger password protection to avoid accidental purchases by kids, labels on the store listing page for apps that have ads and in-app purchases, badges on the store listing page that call out the age rating and the category of the app, and lastly, we've added a new set of parental controls. So that's a brief update on what we're doing to improve the family experience on Google Play. Now let's pivot to one of our two main topics for today, building a family-friendly app on Google Play. In this next section, I will cover some best practices in developing a high-quality app, how to leverage Google Play's tools and services to find success, and right now, the benefits for joining the Design for Families program. Now, if you're sitting here today and you have a kids and family app, here's the biggest takeaway from my presentation. Join the Design for Families program. The Design for Families program offers developers an exclusive opportunity to be featured in two parts of the Google Play Store, the main section of the store and the family section. Now, the difference is that family section featuring lasts 2 weeks, whereas main section featuring lasts 1. So if you opt into the program and you're featured, you'll get additional visibility. All apps and games that are approved for the Design for Families program can display in top charts of the main section and the family section. And as I mentioned earlier, there's additional visibility through character pages, search boost, and through curated collections we've placed all throughout the store. A best practice when developing a kids and family app is to try and understand your audience and their preferences. In the kids and family space, there are two types of audiences to consider: the purchaser, who is the parent buying content for the child, and the end user, the child who's using your app or game. They both have different preferences, and you should try to appeal to both. Take parents, for example. Parents are looking for a high-quality app experience that's safe for their kids. They want their kids interacting with apps and games that challenge their creativity and exploration. Kids, on the other hand, they just want to have fun. They want those wow moments. They want clean and simple interfaces, and they want apps and games that they can share with their friends. So as you just heard, there's a little bit of difference in what kids and parents are looking for. Go figure. But you should try to appeal to both audiences. Another best practice when designing a high-quality app for kids and families is to involve kids early on in your research. As you just heard in the past presentation, there's no substitute for great customer feedback. And if kids are part of your target audience, then why not have them involved? As we all know, kids are very vocal. They're definitely not afraid to tell us what they like or what they dislike. One of our top partners out of Canada is Budge Studios, and they've been involving hundreds of kids in their research since early on Google Play. Kids are involved in their play testing, giving feedback on the first-time user experience, the characters they like to see, what they're having fun with in the app, and what's challenging. Another best practice when developing a high-quality app is to think about the types of devices that are going to be used. Our research shows that over 60% of spend in the family apps and game space comes from the tablet. If you think about it, this makes sense. The parent is one who's carrying the phone most often. The tablet is much more of a shared family device, one that's shared by siblings, parents, and often the one that's used by the youngest children in the household. Now, we strongly recommend that you optimize for a tablet experience, and Google Play provides best practices when designing for this form factor. At Google Play, we're always asking our users what they value the most. This helps us provide them with a better user experience. And it turns out, a high-quality app is extremely important. From our data, we see that high-quality apps have higher retention, ratings, revenue, and referrals. And as a developer, those are 4 key performance indicators that you should be measuring. Now, if you're asking, what are the characteristics of a high-quality app? Well, here they are. They should look great and be easy to use. They should meet a user's needs in a simple and intuitive way. They should be reliable. They shouldn't drain battery, they shouldn't waste data, and they definitely should not crash. And they should use the latest Android SDK and follow the best practices in Android material design. Now, something to understand is creating a high-quality app is not something that happens overnight. It's a process. Many of our top apps and games developers are using alpha beta testing to gather feedback from their communities and making multiple updates before launching live on Google Play. And speaking of alpha beta testing, over 80% of our top apps and games partners are using alpha beta testing and stage rollouts. Beta testing and stage rollouts allow you to improve your quality of your app by collecting early user feedback. There's two types of betas that are available in the developer console: open beta and closed beta. With open beta, you can share your link out to the global Android community to gather feedback. Closed beta is a little bit different. With closed beta, you upload email addresses into the developer console, and only approved users can download your app or game. Now, closed beta is a great feature if you have specific feedback you need from a smaller audience. As you heard from our press presentation, at Google I/O this year, we launched a featured collection on the Google Play Store called Early Access. Early Access showcases a hand-picked set of promising apps and games that are still in development. These apps and games are not fully public on Google Play. The Early Access program allows developers to gather global Android feedback, and it's all in private format. The feedback does not display on your store listing page, so you can have that one-to-one communication. The Early Access program allows developers to find product market fit earlier and make refinements to their engagement and monetization before launching live on Google Play. This program is extremely important to the family apps and game space for developers who have a limited user acquisition budget and need a lot of feedback and testers. Pre-registration is a powerful new tool that allows family apps and games developers to drive awareness of a major launch before it goes live on Google Play. The user experience is simple. A user reaches a nearly identical store listing page, and instead of an install button, they see a pre-registration button. A user clicks to pre-register, and that's all they need to do. Once a developer launches their app or game live on Google Play, Google will send a notification to each user who's pre-registered, letting them know they can install the developer's app or game. The last two slides really focused on building awareness before an app goes live. But once you drive traffic to your store listing page, you need to convert that traffic. Consider your store listing page the first place a potential user experiences your app or game. You can run store listing experiments to optimize with data instead of intuition. With store listing experiments, you can optimize your icon, description, screenshots, marketing creative, and even your video. Now, our top apps and games partners in the family section are seeing anywhere between a 10 to 50% improvement in download conversion rates when running a proper store listing experiment. Here's some best practices when running store listing experiments. Don't test too many variables at once, or it will be difficult to measure what's having an impact. Run your store listing experiment for at least 1 week or until you collect enough data. Be open, be creative, and test variables that you otherwise wouldn't. And if you find an experiment that's improved download conversion rate, don't just settle for a small increase. Iterate and see if you can improve performance. And speaking of store listing experiments, it turns out your icon is extremely important. What we see is our top apps and games partners are testing their icons in alpha beta testing stages to try to improve performance. Your icon appears in Google Play Search, if you're featured in collections, and in store listing experiments. As you can see from this example here, a developer in the family section is App Family, and they ran a store listing experiment with a dragon icon versus a unicorn. The dragon just wasn't performing, so overnight they loaded a store listing experiment with the unicorn icon, and they saw a dramatic increase in download conversion rate and subsequent downloads. Over the past few months, they've made changes to the unicorn icon, and it's still outperforming any other icon they've tested. Regardless of your business model, ratings and reviews have a major impact on download conversion rate. Because ratings and reviews are so important, we've added a new set of features in the developer console that allow developers to better manage their ratings and reviews. What we typically see is higher rated apps have higher referrals and download conversion rates. So it's important that you ask your loyal users to rate your app, review it, and spread the word. But ratings and reviews are a two-way street. If you're going to ask your users to rate and review your app, then you should do so in their local language, and you should personalize the message. And if users are leaving reviews on your store listing page, you should reply back to those reviews in the local language to help build community. So that's covering some best practices in developing a high-quality app. Now let's talk about selecting a business model and optimizing for growth. As we all know, in the kids and family space, monetization needs to be carefully thought out. The right business model will meet the expectations of your target audience. And if kids are part of your target audience, then keep them in mind because they don't have purchasing power. As with all other developers on Google Play, family apps and games developers can select from one or a combination of the following business models: premium or paid apps, freemium, subscription, and ads. One monetization option to consider is ads. Monetizing with ads may yield a higher revenue stream versus other business models in markets where credit card adoption is low and form of payment is less available. Now, if your app is targeting kids as part of its audience, then you're probably well aware of the many laws and restrictions related to respecting child privacy. If you select AdMob as your ad monetization platform, then they have you covered here. With just one click, you can turn off interest-based advertising and remarketing to kids. Something else to keep in mind is that in many parts of the world, there are specific restrictions around the age of the ad and the app age. You need to make sure that they're on the same level, and here again, AdMob has you covered with what we call a kid-friendly app. A popular business model on Google Play is freemium. Freemium allows users to download your app or game and try it out before making a content purchase. One of our top partners out of Ireland is StoryToys, and they recently launched their Chuggington Chug Patrol app as freemium instead of the traditional premium business model. What they saw was a dramatic increase in revenue and downloads, a 3.5 times increase in revenue, and a 250 times increase in downloads. These results were so strong that it led them to launch their next app, My Very Hungry Caterpillar, as freemium, and they've seen similar results. Now, there are no restrictions related to in-app purchases for apps and games that are approved for the Design for Families program. In fact, as a service to our developers and users, Google Play will enforce password protection for any app and game approved for the program that's child-directed. We do this to ensure that parents, not kids, are making purchases. The subscription business model is gaining a lot of traction on Google Play, and it's quickly becoming one of the top business models in the kids and family space. If you select subscription as your business model, here are some new tools that Google Play has to offer for you. There are new subscription durations: 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, 3 months, and a year. To help developers better manage subscription churn, we've offered grace periods and goodwill credits. There's also new data in the developer console, so you can measure your subscriber base. For users, we now offer the opportunity to upgrade and downgrade through subscription tiers. The premium business model has been around since the beginning of Google Play. If you select premium as your business model, you will earn revenue each time a user downloads your app or game. Consider premium if you have character IP or a brand that users know, love, and trust. Now, one consideration for the premium business model is the price of your app. We strongly recommend that you review the price of your app versus other prices in the family section. This ensures that you're priced competitively. Speaking of pricing, our top apps and games partners are testing freemium, subscription, and premium prices in overseas markets to ensure that they're priced competitively. As you can see from the example, a top educational partner tested 4 different price points in the United States and Russia. With small decreases in price, they saw an increase in download conversion rate, revenue, and average revenue per user. So now that we've covered selecting a business model, it's time to optimize all of your organic channels for growth. Your organic channels are your owned media assets. These are channels that your company controls and manages. They're channels such as your email database, your website, and your social media profiles. You can use your email database to market your launch or let users know about a major content update. You can use your website to show marketing trailers and gameplay footage. And you can use social media to engage with your loyal audience, run contests, and give them sneak peeks for future updates. Now, we strongly recommend that you add Android branding and the Google Play badge to all of your own media channels. This lets users know that you have an app or game that can be installed on the Google Play Store. We recently launched self-serve promo codes in the developer console, which allows developers to give away premium and in-app purchase content to up to 500 users per quarter. The user experience is simple. A user receives your promo code for a premium or in-app purchase piece of content, and they can redeem it through the Google Play Store app and no additional charge. Promo codes are a great way to engage your audience and potential influencers, and you can use them for customer acquisition through contests or to let users know about an upcoming launch or major update. Now, I'm sure all of you in the room are familiar with YouTube. Many of you have likely used YouTube. But what you might not know is that YouTube can be a great app awareness channel. The first step, though, is to build your channel subscriber base. You can do this by thinking like a user and not an advertiser, by providing additional value on your channel outside of value that's in your app or game. Now, specific videos can be created for gameplay trailers, tutorials, walkthroughs, and showing exclusive behind-the-scenes footage. Once you've built up your channel subscriber base, you can use the app install card to drive users back to Google Play to have them install your app or game. Once you've launched, it's extremely important to measure your performance. And the user acquisition report in the developer console shows you data for every step of the user journey. The report breaks down traffic by organic sources and paid sources. So if you're running performance media, you can track that as well. And we recently rolled out a country breakdown, so you can see how you're doing in your home market versus overseas markets. Now, we've covered a lot today. So to recap, if you have a kids and family app, join the Design for Families program. It's the best place for additional visibility through character pages, search boost, and through curated collections we place all throughout the store. You need to understand your audience and deliver a high-quality app experience to them. There's two types of audiences to consider, parents and children. They're both looking for different things, but you should try to appeal to both. Both audiences definitely want a high-quality app experience, so you can use Google Play's tools and services to provide that to them. Alpha-beta testing allows you to test your app and deliver that high-quality experience. Pre-registration will help you with driving awareness before the app's live on Google Play. You can use promo codes for user acquisition, YouTube for off-store awareness, and finally, the user acquisition report to measure your performance. Lastly, test and optimize globally. We strongly recommend developers run store listing experiments to improve their download conversion rate, and definitely test your icon. And make sure you're priced competitively for overseas markets. I hope everything you've heard today inspires you to go out and create a great kids and family app. After all, the kids of today are going to be our future leaders. So let's keep them educated, engaged, creative, and having fun with apps and games. I'll be holding office hours at 3 p.m. today, so please come see me if you have any questions. Kamsahamnida, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.